Christian medium. I'm here on Easter. I wasn't planning on going live, of course, but I'm happy to. I talked to Jesus earlier, and I did automatic writing. So I'm gonna wait to see. I'll wait to see if people come on, and if not, I'll just record this. And oh, hi, Bernard, smooth operator. Is that true? So I'll just tell you guys what I wrote when I talked to Jesus today, and I'm gonna wait just a little bit to see who's online. Yeah, it's true. That's cool. I don't want to say happy Easter, Bernard, because Easter was actually not a happy event, but I guess how should we talk about Easter? Easter, it should be a reflective time, reflecting on what happened. I talked to Jesus about this today, and he doesn't want it to be like a sad time, but he doesn't like that people say Happy Easter, except for the kids. He likes the Easter Bunny. It says, oh, I love Easter, all holidays. Oh, I do too. But he was just saying that it's not that he wants us to be sad. He wants us to be reflective. And he wants to let you all know that one of the reasons that we come back from the other side is that we want to experience sadness and reflectiveness, a little bit of somberness. Like that's something that we only feel here on earth. We don't feel it on the other side. We feel peace on the other side. And we actually miss all of our emotions, like feeling sad. So that's one of the reasons why we come back. But I would like you guys to think of questions, like if you would like to ask Jesus questions. He's here. I've got a lot of archangels here. Let me tell you all who's here. So, oops, let me move the camera a little bit. Sorry, guys. I'm on my phone right now, so it's a little bit. You experienced sadness last month. Oh, I'm sorry, Bernard. Are you feeling better? Are you feeling better, Bernard? Good, good. Okay, so, so let me tell you who all is here in the room. We have God around us. We have Jesus, Archangel Michael, Metatron, Archangel Erik Medhus, Archangel Gabriel, Mother Mary, Father Joseph, Archangel Sandalphon, Archangel Ezekiel, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Jophiel. We have the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, and the Tall Whites. It's a very, very packed room. So they are all here in support of Jesus, his crucifixion, and they're here with you. And Bernard, they're happy that you're feeling better, and they're sorry that that happened to you. They said that it was to help you slow down a bit, and they want you to think about what you thought about while you weren't feeling well. That's really important. All right, so let me get into what Jesus has said. I've already talked to you about him. They don't really feel that it's like the happiest holiday, but Jesus loves the Easter bunny and the candy that the kids get. So he just wants you all to know that he was crucified. That is true. He said he did not rise. So he did not rise after he passed. What happened was, so Jesus, Mother Mary, Father Joseph, all of the disciples, they're all galactic. So they're all psychic. So he spoke to them after he passed. He came to them. Some people saw him, some people heard him. So that's why people think he rose. He didn't rise. He showed up. He, just like he is right now for me, he has a connection, he's connected to everyone, but he has a very special connection with galactic beings. So Jesus is galactic. He represents the Pleiadians. I'm heavy Pleiadian. And so that's why he's here now talking. But guys, he didn't physically come back in that lifetime. But he did come back and showed his spirit. He came back and he talked to other galactics, which I told you before are the disciples and his parents. So guys, the reason that Jesus came here and the Galactics come here, and they were all galactic, is to help us. So let me read. He came back to speak to his disciples, and especially his close-knit group. It was St. Peter, St. John, St. James the Greater. They were all galactics, star seeds. They're called star seeds. Heavy Pleiadian. And he said, we galactics come back over and over to get it right and to keep balance. So the reason why so many people right now are discovering that they're galactic, it's because we need balance right now. So most of us, including myself, most galactic, strong Pleiadian galactic people have a Libra rising or Libra in their chart for justice. Not 100%, but that's a big indication. It says, if you are watching this right now, try to figure out what your role is in what's happening right now, where you can help, what your part is. And please pray to my spiritual team, your own team. They said they are on hand assisting. Would the second coming of Jesus be already here? Okay, so I'm just answering a question that just popped in. it's tricky. Jesus has said so far he doesn't have plans to come back like in his own form. There's different timelines, different variables, but he has come back, and I can't tell you right now, but he has come back as other people. The same with all of us, and the same with, Mother Mary. I know Mother Mary was also Mother Teresa, and she's also Mother Earth. Father Joseph was Father Damien, Father Time. But Jesus is not ready to reveal that information, but I will tell you at a later time. But as of now, he doesn't have plans to come back as himself. Now, if things got really, really out of hand, all of us will go back to our perspective places while the earth heals. But that's a whole ball of wax I'll get into at another time. So it says, don't use the galactic labels as a separating, to separate. But yet, Jesus would really like us all to figure out what galactic influences we have, because he's saying that, being a galactic in your past, you may have been one or more of these, I'm going to just give descriptions: sensitive, talented, intuitive, protective, a little bit afraid of life at some point. Maybe you've been called a nerd. Oh, you're welcome, Knight Rider. You might have a learning disability or a social disability. You've been considered different. So, to figure out why and what you are and why you're here doesn't mean that you're trying to be better than anyone else or look down on people. It's not about that. So a lot of people resist figuring out like what their galactic influence is because they're afraid that they're going to come off looking like pompous or trying to look better than other people. But remember, a lot of galactic people, intuitives, empaths, psychics, a lot of people who are protective, sensitive, guys, a lot of us, you, them, all of the galactics have suffered because of that. So, Jesus said, just take the good with the bad, like figure out the best. He's quoting Shakespeare, to thine own self be true. The more you can honestly figure out about yourself, all of your good and bad, the better off you'll be, the better able you will be to find your tribe, find the right partners, the right jobs, and all of that. So let me continue on with what he said. He wanted to talk about this category. So I've talked to you all about galactic influences. There are, this has been since people have been created. God got together with the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Tall Whites, and the Reptilians to create the people of Earth. And there is one other category. They are called people of the Earth. So they don't have galactic influences. He wanted to talk about that today. And also, he wanted to talk about how people of the earth and reptilians can sort of break out of their roles, because many of us souls have been coming back over and over and over, and earth angels are very sort of practical, grounded people, and reptilians are they are very earthbound, very group oriented, and they sometimes, I'll just say, they don't possess the same galactic qualities as galactic beings. So as of now, we've been coming and doing this rodeo for so long, and there are dark reptilians who are trying to, and sometimes succeeding in, shifting the power over to them. So Jesus has a message for people, just people who don't have galactic influences. The way that you can break out of your mold, so to speak, and to become elevated, because there are many, like, people of the earth and reptilians right now who are not the dark reptilians, like reptilians who want to be more elevated, who want to be more spiritual, who want to connect more to the angelic realm, the galactic realm. And the way to do that is to sort of break out of your comfort zone and I hate to use the word sacrifice, because that's, a scary word, but it is to do something like very brave, very self-sacrificing. So that would be like a whole subject for another day. But think of your people who have done something very brave, your firefighters, your police officers, doctors, nurses, people who have just really, really protected others. That will elevate someone who is just of the earth and or a reptilian. So even if someone was a dark reptilian, but they did something that was very protective, very caring, and they took a big risk. They risked their own, it's hard to put it in a light way, but I think you guys catch my drift. That's how they could become an elevated spirit. And Jesus wanted to tell me that a lot of reptilians who planned on doing that, coming here, God will send them here, maybe being like extra attractive, born into a wealthy family, with lots of advantages. So what can happen is, we get corrupted while we're here. So that's why sometimes you will see someone who seems like they have it all, but yet they've been corrupted. And that's generally, all of us could be corrupted, but that is one timeline where a reptilian came here with the intention of being an earth angel with helping people. And, we have a dark reptilian force that's constantly, and this is for all of us, that constantly preys on all of us, is even Galactics to, basically it's like Star Wars, like come to my team, do this thing that's not good for you or not good for other people. So let me continue on with what Jesus had to say. Yeah, he said it's a way to earn your wings. And so the battle is the same for all of us. It's just we all have different timelines and different missions and different influences. The Earth Angels are a smaller group. Reptilians, I've said this before on my channel, reptilians make 50% of the population. Now, when we think of reptilians, we think of dark reptilians, but there are light reptilians, just average reptilians. So right now, it literally is it's spiritual warfare. And, Jesus is coming through on Easter. He's very happy that people celebrate him. Oh, I just missed that last question. Let me, oh, I'm missing all these. Oh, Bernard, you have 255 subs. That's awesome. I'll have to check you out. Let's see. Howdy. Howdy to you too, Jay. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, yes, we should be kinder. Let me look back here. So we should be kinder, Knight Rider. Yes, we should be kinder, but you don't want to be a doormat either. If you are an empath or you are galactic and you're here to help, galactic people are here to help. And a difference, if you want to know the difference between a reptilian and a galactic being, galactic people will be unhappy if they're not helping. We can try to be cool, we could try to be reptilian, we could try to just be popular, have money, all that stuff. And Jesus says all that stuff is great, but we came here to help people, and we won't be happy if we're not. And reptilians came here to help their tribe and to fit in and have groupthink and be group oriented. So if they're working under a galactic being that wants to help humanity, then they're on the right path. But reptilians don't have a natural desire to help humanity. So if they become very successful, and they won't generally feel bad that they're not helping, if that makes sense. Now, this isn't 100%. Like I said, there are reptilians who want to break out of their mold. And let me look here and see if there's more questions. Okay, Jay, how do we know what group we belong to? Okay, so do your research. So for me, I figured out all of this through doing tarot, and I went to a psychic fair and they told me my aura was indigo. And so I just slowly started to figure it out. And because my team, I've known them, I know them on the other side, and I've had lifetimes with them. Like I'm very connected, but what I can suggest is that you learn about each group, and I'm going to help with that. I'm going to start like doing videos. I've been taking notes. I'm going to start doing videos for each group, and to help you figure out which group you belong to, and according to like characteristics and just sort of analyzing yourself. Let me look at other questions. Yeah. Okay, so I think oh, happy Easter, Night Rider. You did the same, and you were told you were Arcturian, so that makes sense. Can you? I just want to ask, Night Rider, can you sing? Can you dance? Do you have a good sense of fashion? That's very Arcturian. They're always writing me, like they've been helping me. The Arcturians, I'm mixed. I'm Pleiadian, tall white, and Arcturian. So the Arcturians have been coming to me and trying to get me to wear clothes that I used to like. And they've shown me clothes. The fashion is very important for them. And they've shown me how much like color and fashion and music, how it can affect us and our moods, our personality, and how important it is. They're upset. They think that the Arcturians think we're going through like a somber time in like music, fashion, and with this whole like minimalistic movement. Like Mother Earth is happy that people care about the earth and want to protect her, but we also definitely the Arcturians want us to know that people have come here as fashion designers, as interior decorators, as architects, and painters, and artists, creators, songwriters. That they would like us to be able to balance it and still be able to fulfill our destinies and dress nicely and smell good and look good, and that they're all saying together that there is a way that we can all manage this, taking care of ourselves and Mother Earth, that we don't have to be so extreme. And they're laughing, like we don't have to wear gray sweatpants all the time. I said there's nothing wrong with gray sweatpants. In fact, like the baggy ones are in style, but like, you know what I mean? Like we don't have to dress somberly. And you guys can see too that like fashion went through this phase of this going backwards, and everybody was just wearing like t-shirts and sweatpants and stuff like that. I'm obviously wearing a sweatshirt, but you can see that even when we did that, those items became like hugely expensive, even though we were looking the same. So anyway, that's the Arcturian take. Let me see the other notes that I have. Yeah, it says we all need to start taking our power back from dark reptilian forces, and giving it back to everyone else. Because guys, we have our regular reptilians, we have our people of the earth, our Pleiadians, our Arcturians and our tall whites. And we don't want to give our power over just to a small group, the dark reptilians. So let me look back here and see. None of the above, laugh out loud, but you are easy and flexible with humanity, but firm. Okay. Well, you could be a mixture. So for me, this is really, really funny. On the other side, they've told me that I help them like create music and we sing and dance and stuff, but I was purposely, and I made this decision myself too, that I came here, I can't really sing, I can't really carry a tune, I can't follow dance steps. I can groove and I love music, but that purposely happened to me because they want me to do what I'm doing now. And apparently I love music. And like I said, on the other side, I love to sing and dance and I'm really good at it. But they purposely, and I purposely made sure that I wasn't going to be good at that because that was not what they said I would have done that 24/7, and that's all I would have done, and I would just become a star, and I wouldn't do the work that I'm doing now, and I actually wouldn't even really talk to people. I would be so into just like singing and dancing, if that makes sense. So you can be galactic and not have that particular talent. Easy and flexible with humanity, but firm. I mean, to be honest with you, you could be a mixture, but that sounds more like Pleiadian. It sounds like a mixture, actually, those character traits. Easy and flexible with humanity, but firm. Yeah, that sounds like Pleiadian. That sounds like an indigo aura. Okay, let me see if there's any other questions. What if you are not fashionable at all? What would that lean towards? Well, you'd have to look at all of your traits. Not fashionable at all would make me think of a tall white. Tall whites generally, if you're heavy tall white, you're more logical, intellectual, steady. Tall whites tend to dress very basic. I think it was Albert Einstein. Was it Albert Einstein? Who liked to wear the same clothes every day. It's very tall white. That's a very tall white characteristic. So these are good questions because I'm going to start making videos about this to help people. Yeah, that sounds like it could be you. It sounds like you're very tall white. Would you consider yourself maybe to be nerdy, to have special interests in sort of nerdy things? Yeah. Do you guys have any other questions? We've got everyone here that I've mentioned. I'd also like to help people figure out the best ways for them to connect with the other side. Let me see here. And also, yes, nerdy, reliable, and dependable. Yeah, you sound very tall white. Very tall white. Which sometimes I get jealous because even though I have tall white, I'm so heavy Pleiadian. Can you say hi to them? Knight Rider says hi, you guys. They said hi, Knight Rider. Jesus said, how the hell are you doing? How, he says, you guys, they're really funny. Jesus said, Knight Rider, how the hell are you? They're really, really funny, and they make jokes like that all the time. Hi, Alyssa. Jesus says, Alyssa, how the hell are you? They swear sometimes too. And they make fun of me all the time. They call me Winston Churchill. I wasn't Winston Churchill in a lifetime, but like I'm never ready. I'm never ready. Like I have a list of things that they want me to come on and talk about. I have a list of people like in a waiting room wanting to talk to me. But like I'm always like I need like, and this is why they call me Winston. Apparently Winston Churchill would always say like no cup of tea was ever big enough. Like he was never satiated. So like I'm always like, especially with my tea, I'll eat a meal and then I have dessert and then I have tea and they're like, get on with it. I'm like, no, let me finish my tea. And they're like, get on, Winston Churchill. So yeah, they're really funny, you guys. Let me see if there's any more questions. Oh, you're having a blast, Knight Rider. That's cool. They're always having a blast. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out how much I can say because they sort of want me to sort of like ilk out this information because yeah, it has to like come in time. I can't just, some things just sound so crazy, but it seems like so far like everything that I've said people have been open to. Like, I started out as a tarot channel, so some of the galactic things that they've been telling me, I'm like, do you think that my subscribers are ready for it? And they said yeah, but they don't want me to like overwhelm Night Rider's laughing. How has everyone's Easter been? How do you all feel about Easter? Do you feel that it's a time of contemplation? How do you all feel about Lent? Jesus said the idea of Lent, the 40 days, 40 days is the right amount of time to discover if you not only have, if you have an addiction to something, 40 days is the amount of time it would take if you didn't do it to get over the addiction. So it's also a good amount of time to figure out, like, if you're allergic to something, if you guys feel like you're allergic to anything, I'm allergic to gluten and sugar. So if you feel like you might be allergic to something, eliminate it from your diet for 40 days. If you feel like you're addicted to anything, and Jesus is saying like many of the addictions have changed. So, if you're addicted to relations or the P word, watching things on video, trying to be diplomatic, some of the current addictions, sugar, alcohol, watching TV, watching videos, internet, things like that. if you feel like you're addicted to anything, cut it out for 40 days. He didn't want people just to go 40, he and God and the archangels, they didn't want people just to go without something like, their favorite thing for 40 days. Although you can do that, but it's not like a sacrifice for them. It's actually to help people. Yeah, if you can go, I mean, it's hard, but if you could go 40 days without, just using your phone when you have to, or for work, if you could try to do that. So was it last year? Last year, guys, I stopped Facebook for 40 days, and guys, I haven't really gone back. Like, I had a group that I was sort of addicted. Like, I love joking around. Like, I'd make jokes and all that stuff, but I was getting addicted. Interestingly enough, I started working more on my YouTube. So Jesus wants me to do that. So that actually helped. Yeah, everyone's addicted to their phone. Yes, we are ready to bring it on. So you can see there's a theme here of like, part of figuring out why we're here, what we're meant to do, is to get, keep those addictions at bay, because they really distract us from our purpose. Even though, like, I loved talking to my friends on Facebook, and I loved making jokes and all of that, it took so much time that it was taking me away from my purpose. And that's why I was guided to give that up for Lent. It wasn't because Jesus didn't want me to have fun, because they love to have fun. So I hope that's making sense. And also, happy Passover. As you all know, like myself and Jesus, the disciples, we were all Jewish. So when Jesus was here during that lifetime, he actually was not trying to create like a whole new religion. He was just trying to improve Judaism. Yeah, you don't have to give up food, Knight Rider. I mean, if you're not feeling well, of course, you'd want to see what's making that happen. Or if you, Jesus, he always he's always like, they're always writing me about what I eat, and they've completely changed my diet. That's why they came up originally with the whole like kosher diet and the whole like, you don't eat dairy with meat and stuff like that. And Jesus is laughing. He's saying it's because everyone was getting fat, because people were, instead of eating fish, they were eating like meat all the time, and dairy, and meat and dairy together all the time. He just said people were gaining too much weight. So he got the message from God that when you eat meat, don't eat dairy. And that was just simply so that people would start eating more fish. And so people would eat fish so that they could have dairy, so that they could have like cheese and dairy. And so it was kind of like a little bit of a trick, if that makes sense. Do you guys have any other questions? Oh, wow, it's already been 44 minutes. So yes, happy Passover to anyone who is Jewish, who celebrates Judaism. And Passover is a good idea for everyone, for Christians. That was those were messages passed down from God and how to stay safe, which is like, you can see that I've made videos about how to stay safe right now. And it's basically like how to be passed over for a crime. So that's what Passover was. It was like how the Jewish people made their house, it made it so it would be passed over, so they would not be victims of that particular crime. So Jesus has come to me. I live in New York, and he's told me how to not make myself a victim of the current crimes. So he had to go over the crimes. So you can look through my videos. You can see that he told me in advance the crimes that would be happening. And I've been able, you guys, I've moved. My whole life is different because he told me what crimes were coming and how to make myself safe. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit because it's Passover, and that's what Passover means. How to put yourself in a position where you're passed over. And it sounds a little bit self-serving, but you can't help anybody if you're not here. And that's what Jesus told me, because, guys, the list of tasks that he told me to do in order to make myself safe, it was long and arduous, and I felt like I was becoming very self-absorbed and self-protective. But he kept saying to me, well, you can't help anybody if you're not here. You can't help anybody if you're not here. So we have to, especially galactic people, we are targets, and I'll get into that, why galactic people can become targets of the dark reptilian energy. Okay, so it looks like I have a practical question. Okay, so what should we do if we live in the city? Okay, guys, it hasn't really changed much since the time of the disciples in Jerusalem. So when Jesus was giving advice, hi, Lucky, hello. The advice that Jesus gave to the Jewish people, and it was simply advice. And the reason he was crucified was because he was giving really good advice and he was popular. And so the dark reptilian energy of that time did not appreciate that. So he was sacrificed as like a scapegoat. But the same rules and laws, it was a bit of a scary time then. So if you look at the Jewish laws of like Shabbat, originally, because of the crime, Jesus was told to tell people that sundown on Friday night, stay inside and don't leave until Sunday. Jesus was saying at that time, it's been changed, but at that time, he told people, stay in your house from Friday sundown until Saturday morning, but late morning, because that's when all the crazies are out and they go to sleep late Saturday night. And so when it's a crazy time of crime, go out Monday through Thursday and do your shopping and stuff on Sunday. That's why he was told that, was because there was a lot of crime going on. And it was more so on the weekends. He's saying it's the same now. And it's unfortunate. It is not so that you don't have fun. It's so that you stay alive. Because that's statistically when people are out. And now, people are doing heavy substances. And all kinds of crazy stuff is going on in the cities on Friday and Saturday night. Now, it's also a time to stay within, the Jewish people have their own communities, but you can do this if you are in the city. You can do this to the best of your ability. If you live in the country, you can get together with people. It's not that they don't want you to see people, but it's like people that they only want you to be around people you trust from Friday at sundown to like Sunday late morning. And that's just so that you are not a victim of crime. And these are only suggestions. So that's one way you can stay safe. And here's another interesting point, guys. Jesus also, if you're in a relationship, he recommends that you pick one night, preferably Saturday, when there is the most crime, for you to spend time, romantic time with your partner on a Saturday night. So try not to be out after hours. Sounds about right. Yeah. Oh, at least on the weekends. But when there is a lot of crime like there is now, Jesus recommends just really being in your house as soon as it gets dark. He says that, and this is common sense, but this is why they created, he was preaching this stuff. It was as a reminder for people back then. As soon as it gets dark, that's when things start to get crazy. But surprisingly, it is very huge in preventing being a victim of crime. And he wanted to bring that up again because we are all so used to going out at night. Guys, I was an actor and I did improv in New York City for years, like from 2004 off and on until like 2019. So I was out most nights. I did comedy, I did acting, and then I would go to dinner, and then Manhattan was like so much safer, and I would actually walk home. So I would perform, have dinner, have drinks, and walk home. And I personally didn't feel unsafe. I started to feel unsafe around 2019. And then after, the virus and all of the shenanigans, that's when I started feeling like super unsafe. But that's when I started connecting to my spiritual team, and they started, telling me how to stay safe. And I know it's like not a fun subject, and it does feel constrictive. But yeah, there was that. And also this whole idea of being with your romantic partner on Saturday night. Jesus is saying that biologically, it's best just to have romantic times. I know this sounds really crazy, but have romantic times like once a week, because for different reasons for men and women. And I will get into that. He said get into that at another time, but it's basically it's for energy levels, for not being like bored. Yeah, he said, get into that. Like, I'll make a whole video about, does Jesus recommend the modern day consumption of the Eucharist and the holy water provided by the church? Okay. So as far as that goes, he said rituals are fine. It's those particular rituals are not that important to him. He likes the idea of gathering, like going to church, but he originally, that was suggested, the idea of gathering with the group was to figure out how to help. Like, how do we help the community? What needs to be done? As far as having a relationship with them, he says you don't need to go to a place to worship, but it's complicated because at the same time, going to a place to worship, everybody having the same energy there, it's going to increase your vibrations. It's going to elevate you. But don't do it in a way that it would be like obligatory, or that you are, going to church so that you're saying like, I honor you by going to this church. Jesus wants us to honor him with our deeds, and also by honoring ourselves and our loved ones. Mother Mary is here, and when she was Mother Teresa, her message was the best way to honor them is to treat your nearest and dearest well, instead of like, strangers, or, well, you can see that like on Instagram and stuff. There's nothing wrong, he said, with Instagram or, TikTok and stuff, but just they're all speaking together. Like, make sure that you treat your partners well, and your pets and your children, your family members. Treat them better than you would treat strangers, or, coworkers and things like that, if that makes sense. You want to give the people closest to you more energy, and also make sure you're honoring yourself and what you were here to do. And that's the best way to honor them. But he does like, that people go to church and they form a community, and they raise their vibrations in church. But he would like it to go back to, like, how do we help the community? Like, church was a place where, and synagogue was a place where people would go and they would figure out, like, okay, well, what needs to be done and how do we do it? And they're very much into action, guys. Okay, thank you. What if you don't resonate with the Catholic Church, but you resonate more with Christian witchcraft? Okay, so Jesus, he says it doesn't matter how you connect, but as long as you're not casting spells. Like, you can pray, listen to the answers, and then make your decisions from there. But Jesus does not agree with spell work, because there's no need for spell work. Like, and you never want to mess with somebody else's free will. So he especially doesn't like spell work done in order to like make someone love you, or to seek revenge. So if you feel like witchcraft is more like just using all of those tools in order to connect with your spiritual team, then he's all for that. But he's against spell work, if that makes sense. And oftentimes, oftentimes spell work can connect you to the dark reptilian energy, which hangs out in the fourth dimension, which is why they would like us to be very careful of substances, which is why alcohol is called spirits. They're not saying you can't have any alcohol. Obviously, you have alcohol with the Eucharist. They're saying like 1 or 2 drinks is fine, but remember, it can connect you to the dark reptilian spirit. So you just have to be of strong mind. And definitely remember, if you're doing any other heavier substances that, especially if you're galactic, which you can see many celebrities are, that's a way for the dark reptilian energy to get into people's energy fields and influence them negatively. And also, guys, if you are watching, if you've had any trauma in your life, any trauma put upon you, dark reptilian energy was able to come in that way. And so I'm going to talk about that at another time, like how connecting to your own spirit guides and taking care of yourself well, and taking care of people that you trust and having them take care of you, how that can keep away that dark reptilian force. And also to let you know like how all of us, no matter how many times we've been here, no matter who we've been in the past, religious figures, we are all constantly being, talked to and put upon by a dark reptilian force, and constantly have to sort of fight against it. And even in small ways, it can make you tired and lazy and distracted and angry and things like that. Not that all of those things are necessarily horrible. It's part of the human condition. But, we're constantly being approached. So let me see if there's any more questions. Oh yeah, you don't do spell work. Okay, so that's good. You do more petition work. So tell me what petition work is. I don't know what that means. So petition work. How does Christ feel about the use of nicotine? Okay, so I have to be honest with you. It is one of the things that they dislike the most is nicotine. It is up there with heavy substances. Smoke in itself is a reptilian energy. It's a dark reptilian energy. So Jesus actually doesn't even really like people to spend too much time around a campfire. Definitely smoke of any kind is out. Incense, oops, I'm dropping my camera, sorry guys. So incense, he would like certain scents. I'm gonna go over this. Most of the incense is fine, just very light. And guys, he goes as far as to say, don't even char your food. And I know there's probably a lot of you who love barbecue, and that's fine. But he's saying like all of the smoke and char and charred food. Charred food is a carcinogen. It's not good for you. And cigarette smoke, guys, it's so bad for humans. Mother Mary said, please stop. The cigarette butts are terrible for the environment. The smoke is terrible for the environment, and it is a carcinogen, and it destroys humans. It destroys you, the environment, and people around you. Weed smoke. So Jesus, weed is not as bad as nicotine, but it's still. He says that it's addictive, even though people think it isn't. And the only issue not the only issue, but it is smoke, which is not good for humans. Not as bad as nicotine, but he does understand there are people with anxiety. So like that what is that, CBD stuff? He understands in moderation, it's okay. But he doesn't want to say it's necessarily like it's not a gateway substance like Nancy Reagan said, but what happens is if you get in the habit of doing that all the time, it can replace like exercise. And it can also, with some people, put them in connection with groups that sell harder substances. And Jesus is like, it's one of the number one ways to be a victim of a crime is to be connected in any way, right now, right time, is to, the 6 degrees of separation, like as many degrees of separation that you can have from gangs, which are the top sellers of everything. They are watching everybody constantly throughout the world. They're watching like friends of friends of friends and openings. All of these groups are constantly on the prowl, looking for openings in how to get things from people. And so you have to be careful if you're buying substances, even if they're light substances. How are you connecting to the people at the top? So there's that sort of fear, but also there's the issue of, he said that generally people aren't light smokers, that they become like daily smokers, and he understands that it helps some people with anxiety, but also it can prevent you from doing what you're here to do, because once you do that, you may like call it a night. Like it might be your signal to stop doing everything for the night. And the same thing with people who drink every day. Like when you have that 5 o'clock or you have a 6 o'clock drink, it may signal to yourself the day's over. And Jesus says that could be your most creative time, that you're deciding the day is over. I'm going to cook, I'm going to have alcohol. And then all of those hours are gone, where some of those hours could be spent, on the next chapter of your life, doing the next thing. So that's where some of that stuff can really get in your way, especially, guys, if you have any talent or you have any drive to do something. And basically, like if you're galactic, that's when it really stops you. Now, the average reptilian, who many reptilians do very well, like in our typical like 9 to 5 office work, and other kinds of work where it's like very steady construction and stuff like that. Now, reptilians have a stronger constitution, so for them to go out and have a few drinks with people from work, and they're not working on anything creative, they don't have a next chapter. They're set in what they're doing. like that's fine. He said for them to go out and have maybe heavier food and alcohol and stuff, they can handle that better than a galactic person. Galactic people are more sensitive, have stronger hangovers generally, are more affected by all that socializing, and that could take them off of their path. So let me look at the questions here. Who else is around besides Jesus? Okay, so I've already said it, but I'll say it again. Let me see what Lucky says. I had an experience with you were struggling with an eating disorder, prayed for help. How was that prayer in the physical and in spirit? So, yes, they heard your prayer. They're hearing your prayer. So as far as an eating disorder goes, what you need to focus on with the eating disorder is not like that. It's what exactly are you eating? So at some point you got out of balance where food was not giving you, like, food is there for pleasure, but it's to give us energy. So at some point your food wasn't giving you the right energy. So please pray to Spirit. And you know what? I'm going to come on and talk about the diet that Jesus has recommended for me and what he recommends for galactic people. And maybe that can help. And maybe this is actually what you would need. I don't know at what point of the journey you're on with your eating disorder. But eating disorders are common amongst galactic people because it's like a soothing, it helps soothe us. Oh, you're in recovery. Okay, good. So, the president of El Salvador. Oh, yes, yes, yes. He's very happy about that. Yes, he's very happy about anyone who's willing to stand up and fight gangs. Gangs are right now, gangs and obviously what's going on in politics. And as many of you know, there's politics, there's some really dark stuff. I'm sure you all know what's going on, and that's another reason why they're here and another reason why they want to fight gangs. But yes, he's very happy about that. And also that sheriff down in Florida who is going on, Sheriff Grady, who's going on TV all the time talking about the work that they're doing in fighting gangs, and they're actually calling out criminals. And so a big reason, guys, that we're here as galactic beings and Spirit is talking to me is because it's to save the little people. For some reason, when you say, like, save the little people, you know, people who are new here, people have told me it flags your channel, and it's not good. So hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. But that's a big reason why they want me and everyone else to come out and talk about this stuff. This is why you'll see a lot of people start off doing tarot or witchcraft or palm reading or auras and stuff like that, and all of a sudden, like, everyone is being led to the same point. Their intuition is leading them to protect the little people and leading us to uncover corruption and dark reptilian forces and I never thought I would be talking about this stuff, guys, in my entire life, talking about galactic and seeing how galactic influences are connected to spirit and connected to Jesus. Like, I never would have imagined that. But let me see what else here I think I've missed. So yes, thumbs up to the president of El Salvador. Oh, thank you, Lucky. Oh my goodness. I feel so like a little bit behind other mediums and stuff. Okay, so what about the auditors that record the police during the duties to make sure there's transparency and not violating people's rights? So as far as there have, it's so, the United States is a huge, huge country. So, like a lot of issues that, the issues that people were having with the police in one state is not the same issues in another. In fact, Jesus has really talked to me about, like, had me sort of look around and, like in New York, the whole population here, including the firefighters and the police, are black and brown. So to use something that happened in another part of the country that was unfair, and to have it affect like what's going on in New York doesn't make any sense. So, but as far as auditing, it depends. Like, we've got to use common sense, guys. If you're in a high crime area and the police are trying to help, interfering with them is not helping. It's helping, I guess I would say, like, the dark side. Oh, thank you. Do the dark, thank you, Knight Rider. Do the dark reptilians have control of the US government? Oh, goodness, guys. So right now, at the top, the force is, okay, so right now, Mr. B, I should call him. And yeah, Mr. B himself is dark reptilian, okay? But not everything that he does and not everything that the administration does is reptilian. Mr. B is a people pleaser. So sometimes some of the things that he does are the right course of action. Because right now, sometimes the majority is right. So not everything he does is wrong, but he himself, I've been told, is a dark reptilian. Okay, but the government is bigger than one person. Yes, of course. So yes, the government is huge. So not everyone in the government is dark reptilian. But right now, the person at the top is. So that's what I can say about that. What is the cause of paranoia? And how do you combat it? The cause of paranoia, so what they're saying is that you don't, if you're mentally ill and you have paranoia, sometimes being mentally ill it's causing a weakness where a dark reptilian force, it is, instead of thinking of it as paranoia. So you see how Jesus and my spirit guides are talking to me. Well, someone with mental illness, they can be susceptible, along with doing heavy substances. Their channel is opened, and they are not like hearing like fake, just hearing like they are actually hearing dark reptilian forces that are in the fourth dimension are taunting them. So when you see someone who's done a lot of substances and they're on the street and they're having an argument, they are actually having a real argument. Like there is a dark reptilian force taunting them. Like how my guides are talking to me, and my guides joke around with me and they call me like what is it called? Winston Churchill as a joke. Like it's as clear as that. And so what they need is like help, and they need intervention, and they need to not do the substances and to try to connect to God and Jesus and the Galactics for help. But it really is spiritual warfare. And when you do substances and when you have a dark, anything that's a dark energy, and I'm going to make more videos about what causes, and you know, there's other people on the internet, people can help you, like when they say raise your vibes and how to protect yourself. All of that stuff is true and it's all helpful. So like when they say like take a saltwater bath and pray and you know, avoid smoke and clean your house. Jesus says that's why brooms, like that's why like well, there's two reasons why the witches are associated with flying and brooms. The brooms is that they have always told mediums, psychics, tarot readers to clean. I sweep my house every day. And also galactic people are known to fly, like fly in their dreams. And you know what? Jesus is saying we need to sort of wrap this up. It's getting too long. But in answer to your question earlier too about who's here, let me tell you about the spiritual team that's here again. We have God, Jesus, Archangel Michael, who represents the tall whites. Archangel, yeah, flying dreams. That's very galactic, guys. That means that you are astral projecting, which is why they associated the witches with flying too. Astral projection is, and I'm sure many of you can remember in your dreams doing it at least once. It is very galactic, yes. Archangel Michael represents the tall whites, and we have Metatron, guys. Metatron is Robin Williams. Yes, they are. Isn't it exhilarating? Like it makes you not want to wake up because you are literally going to the other side when you are astral projecting. So we have Metatron. He represents the Arcturians. We have Archangel Erik Medhus. His mom has a channel, Channeling Erik. He helps me connect to people who have passed. We have Archangel Gabriel, who is a mixture of all the galactic energies. We have Mother Mary, Mother Mary, Father Joseph, and Jesus are all a group, but Jesus represents the Pleiadians. Last week I was flying in a dream. I could see, yes, you can see everything. It's amazing. I love those dreams. Thanks again. That's a whole fleet. Yes. And we also have the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, and the Tall Whites. And Archangel Sandalphon, who is a tall white. Archangel Jophiel, who is Arcturian. Pray to her, guys, if you want to do anything in the public eye. Sandalphon, pray to Sandalphon to do anything with your intelligence. And then Raphael came through. So lucky, I believe, anyone who's having issues with addiction, any sort of physical health, please, guys, please pray to Archangel Raphael. He will help you with your health. And if you're having any legal troubles, Archangel Azreal is here. Pray to Archangel Azreal if you're having any trouble, like with your taxes, red tape, or legal matters. But with that, I want to say goodbye to everyone. It's been a really long time. Yes, candles, they love candles. Yes, always burn candles. Be careful, cut the wick, make sure it's like a 1/4 inch so it's not too smoky. But I'm going to say goodbye, guys, and I just want to say Easter. Not happy Easter, because it's a sort of a reflective time, but happy Passover. And I hope you guys enjoyed like this time of thinking about Jesus and the disciples and the galactic beings and everyone that's here to help us. And they're asking you to please pray to them and listen to them, and that they're going to give me more information. I'll make more videos to help everyone. And with that, I'm going to say goodnight. Goodbye, you guys.